Miss Fuller, you say that on your mother's deathbed, she confessed your dad was not the man listed on your birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim she then told you that your biological father was actually a well-known singer who was also the love of her life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now today you say you finally tracked him down and he's waiting outside of the courtroom. Now while you have doubts whether he is actually your biological father, you confess he's your last hope. So, Ms. Fuller, before you meet him for the very first time, please explain why you say today is one of the most important days of your entire life.
At the age of 10, my mother and father that I've known to be my father had a fight, and on his way out, he told me, and by the way, I'm not your father. And my birth certificate, it has him as my birth certificate, has my father that I've always known, but I know he's not, and he's told me, he said, I'm not your father. That was something that was just really devastating to me in my life. And at the age of 13, on my 13th birthday, my mother told me that he wasn't my real father and that my father was dead, actually. And I did, not to tell my sisters, but just that's something that she wanted me to know. And I took and carried that with me for a long time. I'm 47 years old, and I just like some answers. But I'm just very, I've got a lot of mixed emotions. I've never needed a father. I've always tried to carry on my life without having, knowing where I come from. You know, I've been pretty displaced. Right now, I'm really just looking for some answers, and I need closure. And so my mom, on her deathbed, she died about a year ago, less than a year. She told me that that really my father is possibly Cornelius. And I said, Cornelius? I didn't know who that was. And she said, that's who I think your father is. So I went online after she passed. I went online to find out who he is, possibly.
So she just gave you a name? She
gave me a name, and she said that basically that he was a saxophone player, he was a musician. And I thought, wow, okay. I found a record in her stuff when I was going through her stuff, and it had her name on it. And once I heard it, I was flabbergasted. I thought, wow, this is somebody she loved so much. This is the album that I'd like to present for evidence.
Jerome, let me see that. And this is the song your alleged father wrote about your mother?
Yes, yes.
So that was the song, Lorraine. That's your mother's name.
Yes. And she always talked about the love of her life. And really, I wonder if that's, you know, if he is.
And that lyric says, Lorraine, Lorraine, I don't want you to go.
Yes. She had left. She left him, or she left the state. And I think that's...
So you found this man, the writer of this song, but you've never met him?
No, no. I was able to find him on Facebook, and I befriended him. And I asked, you know, we talked, you know, a little here and there.
But you've never met him face to face?
No.
I think it's time. Jerome, please send him in.
Can I hug you?
Mr. Neal, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes.
We are here because, of course, Ms. Fuller has found you on Facebook, she says, and reached out to you because she believes there's a possibility you may be her biological father. Do you remember her mother, Lorraine?
Yes. I was singing in a band at the time, and that's where I met her at, in the nightclub, and we started dating.
Yes.
when she came down to the club, I would take her home. She lived in the other part of town.
All right.
And I stayed in the ghetto. But, and she was white, you know.
All right, so in a nutshell, during the time you dated, you know, that had to be the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So that was a time when you were saying that dating interracially was a challenge and often frowned upon.
Yes.
And so you were on opposite sides of the track and different races.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
But you were in love.
Yeah, I was in love. I mean, you know.
So what ended the relationship?
Well, I felt that she might have thought I loved my music, wanted my music more than I wanted her. But it wasn't true. Mm-hmm. It wasn't true. She left town, and I was told that Lorraine had left.
So you never saw her again?
I never saw her again.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Ms. Fuller, all those years you knew nothing of Mr. Neal?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
You knew nothing of the song?
No, not until I found the record and her stuff. The father I knew to be, he gave me a timeline of people who could possibly be my father, him trying to dismiss the fact that he was my father. I have evidence of that, a timeline of...
Let me see that. Jerome, thank you. And this is, ma'am?
This is a timeline that my father presented to, I think, the county, because I think he was trying to acknowledge that he was not the father of me, so he didn't have to pay back child support. And
all right, so he was trying to relinquish his rights,
yes,
sign over his rights, and so he was trying to identify the men he thought could be your biological father.
Yes.
He was in the military, so he was out of town a lot.
Yes, he was.
And so he created a list of all the people he thought could potentially be your biological father, and this list is long.
Yeah.
Mr. Neal, did you know that Lorraine, her mother, had married someone else?
Well, yes, I knew she had married somebody else because I knew the guy. I knew the guy, and we was from the same hometown.
Okay.
But after she got married and left town, I didn't know where she had went to. But I found out that she was in San Bernardino. So me and my brother drove to San Bernardino to the place I thought she was at. And I knocked on the door, and she came to the door.
She did?
Yeah.
So you found her in San Bernardino. Was she single or was she married?
Well, she was married.
She was married?
Yeah.
So when you knocked on the door, was her husband home?
No.
So what happened?
We just fell in love again.
Fell in love again.
Yeah.
Is that a respectful way of saying you all engaged in an intimate
Yes.
encounter?
Yes.
We'll say it that way?
Yes, yes, we made love.
And after that night, did you ever hear from her again or see her again?
Well, we had to visit, and I was there for a while. And after I left, I never heard from her again, and she never got in touch with me neither.
And during this encounter, did you all use any sort of birth control or protection?
No.
Did you ever hear that she had a daughter?
Well, I never heard. I didn't know I had a daughter. You know, it's 47 years, you know.
So when you got this message on Facebook from Miss Fuller, you were shocked?
Yes.
Because you had no idea.
I had no idea. But I looked at the Facebook and I looked at a picture and I said, it could be mine. It could, you know.
And so you two have spoken.
Yeah.
Have you bonded at all? Have you accepted her, or do you still have doubts?
I felt that we were bonded.
You have?
as much as you could, you know, but not. I haven't seen. This is the first time I've seen her.
And when you see her now, do you believe she could possibly be your daughter?
Possibly.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
And wait, what was the oh yeah about?
I mean, I have heels on. I'm a little taller than.
Yeah. Yeah. I look. Yeah, she do. She's favored me a lot. You know.
And so your wife is here.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'd like to hear from you. Please stand.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're Mr. Neal's wife.
Yes, Melinda Bloomfield Neal.
Okay. And so, ma'am, have you and your husband accepted Miss Fuller as your daughter? I see you're very emotional in court while the testimony.
I already got attached to Miss Fuller already. And you know, yeah.
You have.
I would like it to turn out for them, you know what I mean?
Yes, you would like.
Father and daughter.
Yes.
Because on my family side, I don't have very many relatives left. I only had one brother, and he passed away a while back, and my mother, a while back, 2003, but I'm already attached to her. So whatever outcome happens, I want to stay friends with her.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, Miss Fuller, Miss Bloomfield says you've become attached.
Yes, I have, Your Honor. She's been so welcoming, and I've never thought in a million years I'd ever be here, able to have this opportunity to find out if he is, you know, and I just love the fact that he wrote a song about my mom. Yeah, I mean, it's everything. Yeah.
And so if he is not, have you started to pursue any of the other men on the list?
I will. If I'm just trying to move on with my life, and having this opportunity to find out, you know, I have children that I'd like for them to know, you know, that they have, you know, their family, our family is not gone. I mean, we still have, you have a grandfather, or, you know.
Yes. So, you know, Miss Fuller, Mr. Neal discussed the fact that he had no idea, you know, your mother ever had a child. So he didn't know you were there, out there. Mm-hmm. Tell the court what it was like in your teen years after being told by your mother at 13 that, in fact, the man you thought was your father was not your father. What was growing up like?
I didn't know where I fit in. I just knew I was a good girl. I wanted to just please my mom, to please everybody around me. Never questioned anything. I never thought of trying to open up doors that were never there for me to open. I really, I never wanted to be in a place of a lonely state. You know, I feel lonely now. I do, and whether he is my father or not, I feel so good that you guys are here to do this for me. It took a lot. It took a lot to do this. I know.
And so today's results, they really do mean everything to
they
you.
do. They do. Because I'm just looking for answers that I kind of fell in my lap at the time that I think God put into my life, and I think that there's a reason why I'm able to do this today. And
I told my sister, and she was glad, and I told my mother, and they, you know, and she was glad, and
so your family was welcoming to this idea that you could have a daughter.
Yeah.
I don't feel worthy of love, you know. I've just been so, I need some closure.
Well, you are worthy of love, Miss Fuller. I want you to know that. You're worthy of love. And you're worthy of the truth.
Yes.
And I have that for you. Jerome? If anyone would like to take a seat, you're more than welcome. I know this can be emotional, so if you'd like to sit down, you may sit down now. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Fuller v. Neal, pertaining to 47-year-old Gina Fuller, as to whether Mr. Neal is her biological father. Mr. Neal, you are not Miss Fuller's father.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Miss Fuller.
That's okay. That's okay. I
I'm
still love
so,
you.
so sorry.
You are like a father to me. You are.
This court is about getting people the truth they need.
Yes.
So they can figure out how to move forward. And I want you to know that even though you didn't get the answer you wanted today, right now, in this moment, I still want you to move forward.
Yeah.
You may, of course, go over
Thank you.
and stand with me.
Thank you.
And I know you can find the strength because you need that closure and you deserve it.
Yes.
And I'm hoping you can find that resolution. But I wish you the best of luck, and I'm just so sorry I could not give you the answer you wanted today.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Good luck to you all. Court is adjourned. Miss Cotton, you say Mr. Pendleton's meddling mother is the reason he is denying your 5-month-old daughter, Love Cotton. You claim you are 100% positive he's the father and plan to set the record straight today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pendleton, you are here today with your mother, and you both believe that it's impossible that you fathered Miss Cotton's daughter because you claim you are unable to have children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Cotton, why do you believe Mr. Pendleton's mother is causing him to doubt your daughter?
First of all, I just want to say his mother needs to mind her business. Like, at the end of the day, Darren is a grown man, and I understand he's a mama's boy or however she treats him because that's your child. That's
Your Honor.
fine and dandy.
Your Honor.
But he's a grown man now, and he needs to stand up and take care of his responsibilities. Like, my daughter looks exactly like him, and I really cannot figure out how he denies her.
Your Honor, she don't look nothing like me. She don't got none of my features, my nose, my mouth, my eyes, nothing. And on spite of that, I've been in a relationship for 8 years prior to this. And I tried for 6 years to have a baby and couldn't. So
But he thinks my daughter looks like his father, so what are you talking about?
The child looks like you.
So, you say he's denying your baby,
Yes,
and you say it's his mother. She's meddling.
yes.
And she's the one that is putting this notion in his head that he's not Love's biological father.
Yes.
Well, she said she was with another man at the same time.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. First, I wanna understand the relationship between the two of you. What was the nature of this relationship? Committed, or what were you
we
all?
were together for a while and then we separated, but we were still having sex.
So how many years were you together? How long?
About 10 months, and then
Okay.
we separated, and then we were still, dealing with each other. But when she got pregnant, she told me she was pregnant, and then like 2 weeks later, she called me and said it's a possibility, that the baby might not be mine. So if you call me and tell me that, then I'm not supposed to believe you when you say that the baby's 100% mine.
I slept with one person in April.
Okay, so you slept with somebody.
Right, but how many times though? Like she told me it was once.
One
but-
time in April.
But how can I
and
believe
we were not
you
together.
when
So
I'm
at the
saying
end of the
you
day,
tell
I'm
me
a
that
grown
you
woman. I
did
can do
it?
whatever I want with
So
my
how are you
body.
100% sure?
But wait a minute, if
Because
you
that's not
slept,
when I got
hold on, if you
pregnant.
slept with somebody in April, the court records say that your child was born in December, right?
Yes.
Right.
All right, so December, and you count back, landed April at 9 months.
I carried her 38 weeks and 4 days.
And so that means that you believe the timeline is off from when you slept with the other guy?
Yes.
But you did have sex with someone else, and was it protected or unprotected?
It was protected until he took the condom off.
And that would be
But
unprotected.
she's 100% sure. So how can you be 100% sure if the guy took the condom off? You know what I'm saying? Like,
How can you be 100%
You can't.
sure, Miss
Can't.
Cotton? I mean, that really is the question of the day besides the paternity.
because allegedly she looked like me. But she a baby. She ain't got her features yet. Like, You know, don't get me wrong.
She have her features.
Don't get me wrong. She
like,
beautiful, like she gorgeous, but I can't. You know, she a baby. Babies don't start developing.
Oh, she's so precious.
Thing.
You just thanked me. You just thanked me like that was your daughter.
Your Honor, one, we'll start with the meddling that she says I'm doing. The only thing I've done is tell him, do not get attached to this child until you find out whether or not she's yours. I told him I didn't want him to bring the baby around me for the same reason.
But I didn't want my baby around you anyway. She has a whole family that loves her. Unconditionally.
But if she's mine,
she
though,
don't
then
need
she got
you
a
at
whole
all.
nother
I have been
family.
taking care of my child.
You don't
regardless
even
of
know
what
me.
I go through.
You don't even know me.
I knew you though when you had your surgery and you needed help, and I was helping you and your son
I was
out,
half
though.
dead in the
But-
hospital.
And I was there, and I wasn't even his girlfriend. But y'all trying to make it seem like I'm some type of messed up person, like.
We're not saying. I'm just saying. You saying that you
want the
100%
truth.
sure that she mine.
So,
Then
And
you
I
tell
have
me-
not been
but
honest
listen,
from
Hold
the
on,
very beginning.
hold
I
on.
could have been like these women that be out here and does not say, oh, I slept with somebody else or I did something else. I was always honest. So
So
at
be
the end of the
honest,
day,
you're
don't
not
make it seem
100%
like I was
sure.
lying to you.
So hold on.
Yes, I am. I
Miss-
know when I got pregnant, I know my body.
Miss Cotton, when you got pregnant, did you immediately tell Mr. Pendleton? Did you tell the other guy you were sleeping with during that time? What happened?
I already thought I was pregnant, and I told Darren, like, my period was all off that since March. So I already thought I was pregnant. But when I found out and I actually took the pregnancy test at home, I told him. Then when I went back to the hospital and they gave me, like, you know, the 8 weeks, I told him that as well. And the way, like, it was confusing how they did with my ultrasound, and they had my due date all mixed up because
And I've
of
been
my
confused the
period.
whole time.
So
like,
I told him
I don't
the
know what's
truth.
going on.
But Miss Cotton, you're saying that you were even confused with your doctor's appointment because your conception date and the window got moved.
And they were trying to tell me that I wasn't as far as I knew I was. Like, they tried to make it seem like I wasn't, you know, as far in my pregnancy. But I knew I was farther than what they were saying.
So you basically knew more than the doctors.
It's my body.
Is this your first baby?
No, it's not.
Okay, so first of all, calm that neck down when I'm asking you questions, because I'm trying to understand what your point is, and your point proves your case. So bring it down a notch, because I'm not Mr. Pendleton. And let's just not displace this anger, honey.
I don't have any anger because at the end of the day, I take care of my daughter.
So you don't have any anger?
I'm not angry.
Okay, good. I'm
If
glad.
not the
Because
father, I could
if
care
you
less.
don't have any anger, then this is going to resolve itself. So you realize and you feel like, you know what, this doctor may be off. I feel like I'm further along than what they say. And if I am the amount of weeks I think I am, Mr. Pendleton is my daughter's biological father without a doubt. That's what you say to yourself. Mm-hmm. Does the doctor ever verify that the timeline that you believe to be true is true? Meaning, at some point, does the ultrasound reflect that you are
My due
further
date was
along?
moved up. Yeah.
So your due date was moved up. That's the testimony I was trying to get. So now you've told Mr. Pendleton that he is the biological father based upon the due date, right?
Yes.
Did you tell this other guy that he was a possibility?
He's relevant.
No, but did you tell him he was a possibility?
When I found out all the stuff that was going on, I was honest with him as well. Like,
That's my point. So during that time, did the other guy try to step up? Did he try to be involved in the pregnancy?
it wasn't no talking. No, it wasn't.
So you
none of
weren't
it.
even talking to this other
No.
guy. So at that time, was Mr. Pendleton in your life helping you along with the pregnancy?
He was in my life, stringing me along. Oh, it's the baby yours. We gonna be together. Had a whole new girlfriend that his mother just fell in love with. Now y'all best friends. And anytime I would say something to him, it was, oh, you're being petty.
Yeah,
How am
that's
I
not
being
even
petty
like
when I'm
that.
carrying
Like,
a baby
listen,
and all that I'm going through?
Listen, through her
I
whole
was in
pregnancy,
I was in
if I ain't do
pain
what
my
she
entire
wanted,
pregnancy.
if I ain't do what she wanted,
from the very
she got mad and
beginning to
angry.
the very
So hold
end.
on. Well, hold on. Well,
So she called me one
He
day,
would pop up.
wanted me to do something. I was like, I can't do it. She said, well, I'm glad the baby not yours anyway. And this is in text messages on Messenger and Facebook. Like, shit, my mom up told her the same thing, the baby not yours. I don't want nothing from y'all, leave me alone. And then 2 weeks later, or a couple of days, she'll hit me back like, oh, the baby yours. Like, make up your mind. Like, is it mine or not? Is it?
so Miss Cotton, were you doing the back and forth because he was making you angry?
I told him one time, yes, that it probably wasn't his because he was making me mad. Like I said, he had
You're
a
100%
whole nother
sure.
girl And you were really playing games my
I
whole
wasn't
entire
playing
pregnancy.
games.
Like,
How am I playing
But
games?
you don't. You
you
do
still
know.
acting like if love come back that she's yours, we gonna be together. What
Man,
about
hey,
last
listen,
night?
I'm gonna be there with her.
Last night. What happened last night?
What happened last night, Mr. Pendleton?
Miss Kine, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
You pleading the fifth?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your mom do too, that's why she mad. But you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, listen.
The point is, Yana, she just want me to be the father because she know I'm going to be a great father.
So in your court papers, you said it was impossible for you to have
It is.
children.
I've never been tested for it, but I've tried for 6 years straight.
But I got pregnant in October.
October, you just said
I
March.
got
Like, which
pregnant
one is
in
it?
October and had a miscarriage.
oh, man, all
Please
right.
don't sit here and try to play me like I didn't carry your baby the first time. I've been pregnant by you twice. This is what we're not going to do.
Well, how do we know your miscarriage was his?
Right.
The whole paternity is between me and him, but you subjected yourself into it. So what are you
I'm
saying?
just saying, listen,
No,
man, look.
he asked me. Thank you.
All right,
Mama's
no,
boy.
that's
Listen. You never had a test. You never had
No.
any confirmation.
No, I'm only doubting this because of what she told me. If she never told me that she slept with somebody else, then I more than likely would have been on board. But because of that doubt, I can't say, yo, this is my child.
So, Miss Cotton,
Yes.
you found out you were pregnant. He was, I guess, kind of there for you during the pregnancy?
No.
Not really?
No.
At all?
He would pop up every 3-4 months or whatever, you know, like.
Oh,
whenever
so
he
no
felt like it.
consistency.
No, not at all.
Because,
And
again,
so when you had Love, when you had the baby, was he there in the hospital?
no.
No. And I called him and was like, you know, I had the baby, and he was like, well, I'll come up there and we can get the DNA test, and he never came.
So now Love is 5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
What has Mr. Pendleton done for her?
Honestly, spent a little bit of time, like he got her on a couple weekends.
Yeah,
but
and I
don't
come
really
get her.
like
bit of
him
time.
getting
Yeah, and I
my
come get her
daughter.
during the day. I've kept
I
her
don't
over
really like
weekends.
him
I
getting
took
my
her out.
daughter,
I took
but
her
he
down
has
Philly.
got her a few
You know what I'm saying? I
times.
take her out and have fun with her.
Are you supporting her financially?
No.
I do what I can for
No.
her when I can. Like,
No. It's
all
yes
right,
or no.
whatever.
It's no.
Not
But
fully, I don't know,
Mr.
because come on,
Pendleton, I have to say,
That
in
I
this
took.
photo that Miss Cotton submitted to the court, you look like a proud dad. I mean, you
'Cause
look
I
like
want to be.
this is
I
my
wanna
baby.
Be, but until I know,
Your Honor,
I'm
he's
not
all-
going to spend all this money and she not mine. Your Honor, she got a mouth on her. And when I don't
Yeah.
do what she want, she start going. Belligerent and crazy.
No filter.
No filter. So if she mine from this point on, then I'm going to step up and do what I got to do. But you're not going to get me to do A, B, and C because you want me to do it when you want
But
me
I
to.
don't ask you to do anything, do I? I ask you to spend time with my child. That's
And
what I ask
even
you
then,
to
you
do.
have a problem.
That's
And
what I
I do. I
asked you
come
to
get
do.
all the time.
And he has.
But you're the one that's telling him not to be around
she
her. Like
not.
you're, yes, you are.
She just telling me don't look
But
like
you
a
was just
fool.
buying
Miss
a
Pendleton.
whole pack of grandma bibs.
Yes, I
But
did.
you're not the grandma, right?
I
You don't know. That's what we here for.
So you all are just basically going through these motions, and you really just walking a tightrope, trying not to fall for the baby because you don't know if it's yours.
My baby,
I love
excuse
her.
me.
He wants
excuse
it to be
me.
his baby.
Excuse
I
me.
just don't believe it.
My baby does not have nothing to do with this drama. We have a lot of drama in between us. And I really just want this to come to an end, the whole denial part, because it's really like a lot.
Do you hope that he is her biological father?
I mean, at the end of the day, if he not, I wouldn't be hurt. It would just
one
be
minute
like,
she say
okay, I
yeah,
will
one
go
minute
with
she
my
say
life.
no.
But
So when you say if he isn't, that means you are acknowledging that there is a possibility that he
that's
isn't.
the only reason why I told him about the other guy. Like, I'm not a lying female at all. Like, I could have been like these women, oh, it's no possibility, da-da-da-da-da.
And I could be like
No.
these men and
Like,
get
I
low and
told you the
disappear and
truth
never
from
be in her life.
You did disappear the
No,
entire
I
time.
did-
I was
I-
in the shelter starving and everything. The
baby doesn't even look like him.
Wait, Miss Pendleton, you're saying you don't think the baby looks like your son?
I don't.
The point is, until I find out that she mine, I don't want to invest my whole life around it and then be crushed when she not mine.
I can tell from the way you're holding her and looking at her when you have her that
I'm happy. I'm-
that you enjoy the
I
time
do.
with her, and there's a part of you that you want to be her biological
I
father.
would
I
like to
see
be,
that.
but I
That
mean-
comes through in the pictures. I'm just trying to figure out all of this noise you all make. I mean, it's just constant
every
fussing,
conversation,
arguing.
today.
She right out said that she would not let me see that baby if it was my grandchild.
First of all, I never once said that.
Yes, you
I would
did.
never ever deny my child anything.
You did.
That could prosper her life. Like if you are her family,
You did it right
can
to my
be around
face.
her.
You said it
But
right
you
to my
will
face.
not watch my child alone, and that is end of that story.
Ms. Cotton, you just said, if in fact your daughter, Love, is in fact Mr. Pendleton's biological child, you will in fact allow this family to be a part of her life because
already
that's
am.
what would prosper your child.
Yep.
And as a mother, that's the right thing.
Yep.
All right. It's time to get the results. Jerome?
Thank you. You ain't going to clap?
There you go.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Cotton versus Pendleton, when it comes to 5-month-old Love Cotton, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Pendleton, you are the father. Congratulations.
He is so fake.
Mr. Pendleton, it really does look like you have tears in your eyes. This meant something to you, right?
It did.
I can tell. Don't clown him, Miss Cotton. Don't clown. Miss Cotton, don't clown. Don't clown him. Because I can really tell that it did mean something to him. Listen, don't miss the moment. Sometimes we get caught up in our madness and our anger and where we miss the moment. This is about your baby girl. They're now discovering what you said to be true all along. But now we've got to figure out how are we going to fill this space with words of positivity, with words of honoring the child, which means, Mr. Pendleton, it's time to step up 100%.
Will do.
So you're not just the drive-by dad,
Right.
right?
No.
Right? We're not just coming when it's convenient.
Tell you.
As her biological father, it's time for you to be consistent in her life. And that's financially and emotionally. Now, you've thought for many years that you couldn't even have children. So this child is not just a blessing, she's somewhat of a miracle for you. You feeling it now?